Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Ian Fuego here, and we are bringing you another year-end review from 2016. This is for a film that got a lot of critical praise, but being a foreign film, we didn't have the chance to see it until recently. This is Train to Busan. It is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, lots of best of the year lists and stuff like that, so it was cool to finally see what all the hype was about, and perhaps in a lot of ways it lived up as far as zombie movies go. I mean, it's described as Snowpiercer with zombies, but that's because it's a South Korean film, probably. But it was viewed by over 11 million moviegoers there, I should say, and worldwide recognition. So, do you think that it lived up?
I actually did, and part of the reason why I wanted to see this is not only because it was on so many best of 2016 lists, but also because we just got news that it's going to be made into an American version, or there's going to be an American remake, I should say.
Mixed feelings about that, but
yeah, but nonetheless, it made me want to see the original, and I'm very glad I did because it's one of those rare zombie movies that I really, really enjoy.
Indeed.
There was a lot to like about the movie. I mean, the acting was really great. The cinematography was amazing. The effects were amazing. So let's just go through like our usual reviews. So first,
story.
Yeah. What did you think of the overall story?
I thought it was cool, and it was an interesting, just different take. The whole being enclosed aspect of being on a train, I thought was unique. And it starts off with this father who is very much an absentee dad, I guess. He's got kind of a strange relationship with his daughter. He misses a recital, and that's just one of the early evidences we see that they have a strained relationship. And so for her birthday, she wants to go take the train to Busan to see her mother. Obviously, the parents are split up, and so he agrees to do that and try to spend some QT, a little quality time. And that is right about the time that this outbreak happens. And so they're on the train, this girl runs on, she's infected. You know how that goes. It's like, it's like dominoes falling or something at that point, House of Cards unraveling, and that's basically what happens.
Yeah, the story was, there wasn't a whole lot to it, but there didn't frankly need to be. And I think it honestly was a very similar overall story to The Monster, which we really liked. I mean, a kid is going to be taken to the other parents and possibly for good. And that's, a circumstance, but something runs afoul and forces them to reforge a bond, and
fate steps in and makes you address it.
Yeah, and so the father and daughter, along with some other survivors that we meet along the way, have to, survive to Busan on not just one train, but multiple trains, as we find out, which was interesting.
Have to jump from train to train as they're trying to escape all these corpses and stuff. And I know that you described them. I haven't seen World War Z, but you're not the only one who just the quick-moving viciousness of them and the fact that they turned so promptly. And
overrunning themselves. Like when they form ladders of themselves to get to people because
that was one of the best
they
scenes.
tumble over each other. Like they're ravenous animals that are completely terrifying, actually, because one of the things, and maybe let's just jump to the effects and we'll come back to some of the other stuff, but one of the things that I thought, this is part effects, part acting, but specifically the zombies acting.
All those extras were so good.
Were very good. I mean, they're body actors rather than, usual speaking actors, but they're actors nonetheless. And when you utilize the Asian sort of aesthetic or the way that they move in some of their disturbing horror movies, a lot of them, like Fuego was just doing, they would raise up off the ground like they were not human, not like normal zombies do, but they're all tweaked and torqued and
little Sadako Kayako-ishness to just like the weird like cracking and flailing, and it's honestly legitimately disturbing.
Right. It's actually what I think they were trying to do in the Cell movie that we saw earlier this year with them.
Which wasn't bad. It was the ending that killed that one for me.
Yeah, but the zombies weren't nearly as cool, and I think they were going for a similar vibe. This was really, really well done, and the survivor actors were really good too, especially the aforementioned father and daughter. They were really good.
I loved the stouter, more working class dude who was trying to protect his pregnant wife. I thought he was great. He was one of my favorite characters in it, and you've also got a baseball team that gets chewed on, and there's the survivor and his little cheerleader girlfriend, and there's also assholes like the main guy who is just willing to throw anybody to the wolf pack to get shot on to save his own skin, and he was so slimy, but yet he was the perfect villain. We've seen this type of character before in these disaster, post-apocalyptic scenarios where they care about nobody but themselves, and when done well, it's always effective. And you hated this guy so much. And
so much. It was
was
like,
effective.
I can't believe he's still getting away with all this stuff. Like, it was really frustrating to see his character, but there would be people like that in the world, I'm sure, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the way that he turned, there's a pivotal scene about halfway through the film where the survivors we've been following get split off, and then when they come back onto the train trying to escape the zombies or runners or whatever the hell you want to call them, this business guy, the older schmuck we were just mentioning, he turns everybody else, like pack style, against them and says, they might be infected, let's get them out of here. And it's after, he saw that his power was going to be, I guess, challenged and compromised a little bit by this other group, because they actually went and fought and survived and came back in. And he's just like, uh-oh, you're infringing on my territory. I want all these old droogies to do what I want them to. And it was a pivotal scene, and it really made you sad. And it also was sad for a different reason, in showing that, people can be so easily swayed and act just like him when it comes down to saving themselves versus mob mentality, big time.
So the acting was overall great. I mean, all of them were really, really good, and it was interesting to watch. The effects, now we can get more into that. The gore was all over. It was great. I mean, it was really cool to see, and some of it was even gore that you saw, but only parts of, like action taking place on the other side of a door. You saw blood spurt against the door, but you're not seeing exactly what's going on the other side of it. So some of it was alluded to, but most of it was, up close and personal, and it was really well done.
There was an interesting use of proximity with everything from taking lights down so that they couldn't be seen to, trying to break through glass that you see in these movies so easily get crushed through a lot of the time. It had more of an essence of realism, in my opinion, with the use of the effects, whether it was, things like we were just talking about, or like a big burning train coming at you. One of the best scenes in the entire film is where they have to get off the track, not just them get off the track. I don't want to spoil too much, but look out for it. It was so beautifully shot and terrifying, the scenario they suddenly find themselves in.
Yeah, and there's a couple of really cool set pieces. Despite most of the movie being on a train, they still managed to pull off some cool set pieces.
They saved their money, that budget, for the good stuff.
Yeah, and it was just overall a really, we were cheering. We were
cheering
crying.
Up at times.
Yeah, we
it
both
is about family and bonding in a lot of ways too, and just trying to repair relationships. And I mean, the heroics of the main protagonist. He was flawed, and they hint at one point that maybe he might have something to do with all of this, but they never confirm nor deny, and that's only a little mild spoiler, but it's cool stuff to kind of pay attention for. And so he is trying to make up for lost time and for possible mistakes, and did a hell of a job.
Yeah, it was just an overall excellent movie. I mean, the music was good as well, but I will say the music was a little heavy-handed at one particular moment. That was like, oh, so heavy with the piano right now.
Trying to make you mournful. But the song that the little girl sang, it's used 2 different times in the film. For the first time, it lays the groundwork, and then for the second time, it's so pivotal, and it really gets you in the feels, as this guy has me saying now, because it's true. It really just induces reaction, and it really did here.
Yeah, it ended on what I was really hoping they would end on. They show this shot, and I'm like, oh, please let them end on this shot, and they do, and I was like, oh, it's perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
Very satisfying ending, actually.
Yeah, so I don't think it's worth spoiling. No. I think everyone should go and check it out for sure. We watched it on the Amazon service. We just rented it, I think, for $5 for the HD version. Definitely worth $5, you guys. Check out Train to Busan. Once it comes on Blu-ray, I might actually get that too, because it was a tremendous, tremendous movie. One of those really good horror movies that is frightening. You're like, oh, what's gonna happen? As well as getting you in the feels, as you said.
Indeed. And there's also apparently, as I want to watch now, a prequel animated project called Soul Station. So maybe that's like I don't know when the outbreak first hits or whatever. It's at the Soul Station, but yeah, that's something else to check out too, which I'm going to seek out myself.
So that's going to do it for our review of Train to Busan out of South Korea. Thank you guys very much for watching. Again, we strongly urge you to check it out. Let us know in the comments below if our review has swayed you to see it, or if you already have seen it. If so, let us know what you think. We want to know, because we're eager to talk to people about it now that we've seen it.
We love the discussion aspect, and it's not just us two talking here. It's about actually interacting with you guys who are checking this video out.
Exactly. So thanks again for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, I've been Jaime Fuego.
Make sure to check the link in the description box to our merch store, where you can get some really cool t-shirts with our horror show logo, our Coexist logo, and some really awesome horror mashup designs.
Hashtag scary swag.
Exactly. It would really help out the show. Support us. We appreciate it, as we like to deliver all this free content to you guys on a regular basis. So,
because we love you.
exactly. So thanks again, and remember,
Stay scared.